The golden horned beast's wings flapped, unleashing the universe traversal 3 times, instantly leaving behind a curved path in midair. Those silver wings were like sharp blades slicing towards the black-armored youth, only to see the space being sliced apart like tofu, a silver rainbow light streaking across the sky. Die. The golden horned beast's eyes gleamed fiercely. The moment it started, it unleashed its pinnacle technique. 111. The black-armored youth that was rushing over suddenly stopped, simultaneously pointing at Luo Feng. His ruby-like eyes gleamed fiercely. Go and die. Immediately a slender black thread appeared in midair. This black thread was like a slender black snake about 10 kilometers long and only half a meter thin. With the golden horned beast's vision, it could naturally see that this wasn't a black thread, but a long black chain formed from multiple segments. It could be considered a long whip. The 10 kilometers long black whip hung in midair. Like a steel lock, it blocked the golden horned beast. Hoo! The black whip became blurry in midair. The silver wings immediately slashed at the black whip. Chi. The whip was immediately knocked away. However, it constantly rubbed against the silver wings, strangely affecting the power of the attack. The golden horned beast had a feeling that it was sometimes fast and sometimes slow, as though the flow of time was changing. It forcefully broke the concept of the golden horned beast's attack. The flow of time has changed. The golden horned beast flapped its wings and floated in midair. Its dark golden eyes stared coldly at the black-armored youth. Silver Wing Emperor. The black-armored youth floated in midair, looking at the distant huge beast. Right now the automaton warriors are after you with a bounty on your head. You still dare to appear in Yanji continent? If I were you, I would have left Yanji continent long ago. I advise you to leave quickly. Time laws. The golden horned beast let out a low voice. Right. The black-armored youth smiled and nodded. You should know that powerhouses who are skilled in the laws of time are extremely skilled at escaping. You might be able to suppress me, but it is impossible for you to kill me. You are doomed to have wasted your efforts. The other 2 servants stood behind the black-armored youth. Working for nothing? The golden horned beast spoke, its voice rumbling. When he created the pinnacle of the Bright Moon technique, the primal Chaos City leader had arranged for many foreign warriors to be killed one by one. Amongst them were those proficient in the time laws. Luo Feng was very clear on how troublesome it was to deal with these warriors. Even though it was troublesome, Luo Feng still had some experience dealing with them. If you don't believe me, give it a try, the black-armored youth said softly. His ruby-like eyes suddenly lit up. Chi. The formless spirit attack immediately attacked the golden horned beast. In an instant, it pierced through the general armor of the golden horned beast. The material of the general armor was special. It had a shocking resistance against the hollowified undying energy, instantly blocking over 99% of the attack. The remaining bit of the attack, under the roar of the beast god within the golden horned beast. The soul defense secret art beast deity roar had almost dissipated the remaining soul attack. The remaining attacks did not affect the small-sized beast deity at all. There were many materials that could block soul attacks, and this was also related to the level of telekinesis. Back when Luo Feng was still a normal fighter on Earth, he hadn't even reached the Star Traveler level. At that time, his spiritual force couldn't even penetrate metal. Normal metals could already block spirit energy. As his strength grew, his powerful spirit energy could penetrate metal to examine it. Like the Yun-Mo planet ship, it could block soul attacks from those below undying level. The weaker the spirit energy, the easier it was to block. As for undying, to block undying soul attacks, materials were already rare and precious, and the blocking efficiency was also different. Like the general armor that blocked over 99% of soul attacks, this was simply too mysterious. This treasure was definitely one of the top treasures in the universe. Even the knights probably couldn't take out such a treasure. Howl! The golden horned beast roared and rushed at the black-armored youth. Wong. The black whip slid in midair, time flowed faster and slower at times. The golden horned beast however let out a savage roar, simultaneously unleashing the 3 universe vibrations, flickering time and time again, constantly changing positions. Bastard. The black-armored youth's expression changed. Controlling the flow of time usually meant controlling the flow of time within a certain area. If the golden horned beast was trapped by the whip and couldn't move, then the black-armored youth would have a much easier time. But now that the golden horned beast was using its speed and constantly changing locations, it forced the black-armored youth to constantly control the flow of time in different areas. This was extremely taxing. Trap him. The black-armored youth ordered. Yes, your majesty. One of the 2 official level servants controlled a dense amount of silver threads. There were over 10,000 of them, covering the sky and land as they enveloped the golden horned beast. The other official servant controlled the barrier that was like flowing water. The barrier broke through the air and tried to envelop the golden horned beast. This Na Shi youth wants to trap me first, binding me in this small space. When that happens, he'll either fight me or flee. I'll let him choose. Luo Feng looked at the 2 official servants and understood the black-armored youth's battle style. Countless silver threads wrapped over. The water barrier enveloped over. You 2 official servants dare to mess with me? The golden horned beast roared lowly, fiercely exploding, causing the vast frozen ground to tremble. The ground and the ice on the mountain immediately split apart. The golden horned beast's speed rose to its limit, so fast it left everyone dumbfounded, and it constantly changed its flight path. The silver threads and the water barrier couldn't even touch the golden horned beast. How is it so fast? It's ridiculously fast. Our spirit weapons can't even catch up to it. The two official Undying stared dumbfounded. The black-armored youth was astonished as well. In terms of instantaneous speed and speed changes, even a peak-stage king-conferred expert wouldn't be able to do that, right? How could he know how powerful the Wu murdering wings was when it came to flying and dodging? You two foreign pawns will die first. Oh. The flight path suddenly changed. The golden horned beast actually flew towards the two official Undyings. The two official Undyings were controlling their spirit weapons from afar, yet they couldn't even save themselves in time. Careful. The black-armored youth immediately controlled the black whip, at the same time trying to keep the two official Undyings into his world ring, but the moment he drew out a thread of world energy, it was completely dissipated by the golden horned beast's wings. Oh. Facing the obstruction of the black whip, the golden horned beast's right wing directly blocked the black whip, while its left wing was like a 100 kilometers long huge blade, fiercely slashing past. Wow. It left a 10,000 kilometers long silver rainbow mark in space, not dissipating for a long time. Pung? The two official Undyings immediately exploded. In that instant, one of the official Undyings once again condensed. Luo Sha, Luo Sha. This official Undying's expression changed greatly, saying in fear, Luo Sha is dead, Luo Sha is dead. What? The distant black-armored youth's expression changed greatly. Your Majesty, Luo Sha is dead. I lost 6% of my Undying body. Luo Sha was a high-level official and he was actually killed in one move. The surviving servant said in fear, this silver wing emperor has the strength of an emperor pinnacle. It was possible for an emperor level to kill an official level, but it would take a lot of time. What they didn't know. The golden horned beast itself was actually an emperor level, but with the Wu slaying wings, it could match an emperor pinnacle in terms of killing power. Emperor pinnacle. The black-armored youth's expression changed. An emperor proficient in space laws should be able to teleport. If this silver wing emperor could teleport, I would be in dire straits. But he didn't, but his flying speed is unbelievably fast. He probably didn't study teleportation in detail, but rather other aspects of space laws. Emperor Pinnacle, we can't mess with him. If he went all out and burned part of his body, I would be dead. The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. Flee. The black-armored youth was completely shocked. One of his two servants, an official-level official, was actually killed in one move. This was too terrifying. Silver Wing Emperor. The black-armored youth roared, his voice piercing through the undying energy and exploding in the golden horned beast's ears. Ho! The golden horned beast turned, its huge eyes looking at the tiny person. Freeze! The black-armored youth's ruby-like eyes suddenly shot out two beams of misty red light. The two beams of light flew out and rapidly expanded, covering a few 100-kilometer radius around the golden horned beast. Under this strange red light, the golden horned beast actually froze in place. So, the black-armored youth turned and fled. His speed continued to rise, following a straight line as he fled. Time stop. The moment the golden horned beast was hit, it understood. Even though its body was affected by the time stop, its consciousness could still think. However, it couldn't move, its wings couldn't move, its eyes and ears were fine, but it couldn't hear or see anything. Everything was dark and silent. This was a dark and silent world. Only the consciousness wasn't affected. Once hit by the time stop, there were usually two moves to break it. One move was when one was proficient in the time laws. The other was when a warrior who hadn't trained in the time laws relied on his own strength to break it. Break, break, break. Luo Feng's consciousness roared. The golden horned beast's entire body was roaring with all its might. Naturally it began to explode with power. The Wu-slaying wings too were trembling, almost like they were bound by a formless rope. Almost as though something had collapsed. His eyes immediately saw the vast frozen land, the distant mountains that had been destroyed by the bug army. His ears could hear the howling of the wind. Flee? You think you can flee? The golden horned beast immediately sensed the treasure's exact location. It was already over 1 million kilometers away. Not good. Sensing the Na Shi youth's position and the fact that he was fleeing, Luo Feng immediately knew something was wrong. Chase. The golden horned beast flapped its wings and whistled through the air, instantly disappearing into the horizon. However, the black-armored youth's speed had already reached sublight speed, close to light speed. This was the maximum speed of the Yenji continent. However, due to the environment of the universe secret region, he was unable to continue breaking through. The golden horned beast's flying speed was similarly unable to exceed this limit. Plus, the black-armored youth was flying in a straight line, it was impossible to catch up. What do? I can't catch up at all. Unless I use my world projection, which reaches over 90 million kilometers to limit his speed, I can't catch up. Luo Feng swiftly thought about it. According to the information he gained from the battle, he made a new decision. This Na Shi youth can actually use time stop, it won't be easy for me to kill him. I'll trick him too. The golden horned beast continued to chase the Na Shi youth. One in front, one behind, flying at maximum speed above the Yenji continent. Luo Feng's large scanning device was also activated. Even though he could determine the opponent's position without the large scanning device, Luo Feng didn't want to reveal this. Under the large scanning device, the opponent relied on the small scanning device to prevent Luo Feng from detecting him. However, the opponent's detection range was at most 20 kilometers, and he was flying at sublight speed. At this speed it would cause intense pressure and ripping in the air. Even space itself would have ripples. As it whistled past, it would leave clear traces in the air and space. Through the energy waves and space traces, one could naturally determine the opponent's exact position. He's still chasing. Just what grudge does the Silver Wing Emperor have with me to actually keep chasing me? Even though he knows he can't catch up, he still doesn't give up. The black-armored youth who maintained his maximum speed could tell through the small scanning device that the Silver Wing Emperor was scanning him. He immediately became even more furious. "Chase, I'll see how long you can keep chasing. I'm at my maximum speed, you can at most match my speed. If you keep chasing like this, you'll never catch up." The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. Shoo. They were like two meteors, a small one and a large one. One in front and one behind, they chased after each other along the same trajectory. This chase lasted for more than 6 hours. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. The black-armored youth's originally ashen face suddenly revealed an ecstatic smile. Maintaining his rapid flight, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. I knew it. It's impossible for him to catch up to me. He won't keep chasing me like this, he'll definitely give up. Ah, he really gave up now. His mini-detector found that the detection of the large detector had disappeared. He had obviously stopped probing. When I was guarding the cave, it was understandable that he suddenly stopped probing. But right now I'm flying at high speed. Who knows, I might change my direction. He actually turned off the tracking device. Naturally, you won't be able to catch up to me. The black-armored youth was in a good mood. After being chased for so long, how could he be relaxed? The black-armored youth first flew in a straight line for more than 3 hours, then changed direction for a day, changed direction again and flew for another day. They flew for 9 days straight. Finally he flew above a large lake. I've been flying for 9 days straight, so I've already changed my direction. Since he didn't rely on the tracking device, naturally he won't be able to find my position. The black-armored youth stood above the vast lake, laughing coldly. Silver Wing Emperor? I won't forget your chase this time. This grudge. I'll definitely repay you in the future. So, he charged straight into the vast lake. This lake was completely blue, filled with cold energy and was unfathomably deep. Half a day later, a black disk appeared above the lake. Within the control room, black-armored, black-winged Luo Feng sat on the sofa, holding a steaming hot cup of tea, leisurely drinking it. You sure are careful. Luo Feng laughed lightly. But how would you know? No matter how careful you are, I'll still be able to easily find you. That strong calling to LuoFeng's body was extremely strong. Every cell was madly calling out, locking onto the treasure's exact location. Killing him is really hard. I didn't expect a low-level emperor to be able to use time stop. Luo Feng muttered softly. Looks like he's from one of the more talented races within the Na Shi race. Just like how there were many races within the human race, they all had different levels of talent. Within the demon race there were the royal race and the royal race. The Na Shi race was the same. Time stop. If only I had this move. Luo Feng exclaimed within. Teleportation and time stop, these were two very heaven-defying moves. Teleportation, a heaven-defying ultimate move of the space laws. Time stop, a heaven-defying ultimate move of the time laws. In comparison, time stop was even stronger. The moment one was hit by time stop, one would be defenseless for a moment. The enemy could choose to attack or escape. Of course, breaking time stop varied. Luo Feng didn't have his guard up at the start. He didn't expect a low-level emperor to be able to use time stop. If he was on guard and kept his energy vibrating, it would take him 1 second to break it. A peak emperor might be able to break it in 0.1 seconds. However, to an emperor, 0.1 seconds was enough for him to attack many times. Luckily, the Na Shi youth thought I was a true undying emperor with an undying body. With that level of strength he wouldn't even be able to hurt me. Hence, he chose to save time and escape. Luo Feng exclaimed within. However, it's right. Even if he attacked me, my golden horned beast had the protection of the general armor and the cloud contact armor. With these 2 layers of protection, even if he self-destructed, I wouldn't necessarily die. The cloud contact vine was huge in size. Hence forming the cloud contact armor to protect the entire golden horned beast was naturally easy. Outside the black disk above the lake, a huge silver beast suddenly appeared. After which, the black disk vanished. Oh. The silver beast immediately rushed into the lake. After charging tens of thousands of kilometers, the golden horned beast finally stopped. The universe's secret region was filled with dangers. Just like this lake, the coldness was enough to freeze a domain lord to death. Of course it posed no threat to the golden horned beast. Irina. Master. A million emperor army, let's give our cute opponent another firework. Yes, master. The golden horned beast gazed below. This was a huge and deep lake. The deepest part of the lake was over 1,000,000 km deep. Some areas were only 200,000 to 300,000 kilometers deep. The golden horned beast seemed to see through the rocks at the bottom of the lake and saw the black-armored youth hiding in the cave. After the last battle, the golden horned beast was very clear. It couldn't kill the opponent through normal battles. Especially since the youth could use time stop. Luo Feng didn't know the opponent's background before. Now that he knew, he had to destroy the opponent in one move. He didn't give the opponent any chance. Kill the foreign opponent within 30 seconds. Wung. Fierce tiger armored bug clan emperors appeared around the golden horned beast. A million tiger armored bugs almost like countless locusts. Beside the golden horned beast was the bug clan mother nest. The movements here were all shielded by the golden horned beast's large scanning device. As it maintained a 600,000 kilometers distance from the opponent, and the opponent's scanning device only had a 20 kilometers radius, naturally it couldn't detect anything here. Attack. Luo Feng ordered. The exact coordinates are. Luo Feng told Irina the coordinates. At the bottom of the lake, within a cave, there was an F9 grade universe ship. He had over 10 of these ships because he had 12 undyings. It was just that they all improved at different speeds. The strongest were the 2 that had followed him before. As for the other 10, 6 of them were marquee for were normal undying generals. Within the F9 grade universe ship, there was a cabin that was made from G grade metal. Just this small cabin that was 10m wide and 5m tall was more expensive than 10 F9 grade universe ships. Your Majesty, that Silver Wing Emperor can't even take care of himself. The entire Yenji continent has a bounty on him. If he keeps flying in the air, he might very well be discovered by the automaton army. Hence, it's normal that he doesn't dare chase. And he can't do anything to you, so you don't have to worry. There were 3 slaves beside him. Acham. The black-armored youth nodded. This G-grade cabin, against that terrifying attack from before, it should be of some use. The black-armored youth thought. No matter how strong the defense of the cabin was, it would be good enough to weaken 90% of the attack. Luo Feng had the killer Wu wings. The materials and effects of the killer Wu wings were much better than the G-grade cabin. It could only defend against 90% of the attack's force. Enemy attack. The black-armored youth's expression suddenly changed. Rumble. Following closely was an incredibly terrifying attack that instantly tore through the layers of rock and struck the universe ship. This caused the black-armored youth's eyes to be filled with shock and rage. I didn't even sense any scanning device. How could I be attacked? Don't tell me it's an enemy even more terrifying than Silver Wing Emperor? The large scanning device is even more advanced than my mini scanning device? Rumble. The F9 grade universe ship was hit head-on. Like a paper box, it was immediately torn apart. The cabins within the ship were like soap bubbles popping one after another. The violent explosion struck the G-grade cabin. Pung. The G-grade cabin was like a soccer ball that was kicked away by a god. It was immediately blasted away like a shooting star flying out. The surrounding million km had long been torn apart by the explosion. The front of the G-grade cabin had already caved in from the impact. In the center of the caved-in there was even a crack. The cabin was tumbling about in the endless space layers. The black-armored youth within the cabin was in an even more tragic state. He had sensed the attack and immediately taken in 3 servants. However, the bug army's combined attack was too terrifying. In an instant, it destroyed the F9 grade universe ship. The explosion struck the G-grade cabin. Even though it didn't destroy the cabin, it only cracked. However, the violent force of the explosion caused the chairs and tables within the cabin to crumble into dust. The space within the cabin was shaken into particles. Even the Emperor-level black-armored youth, who was protected by the cabin, was instantly blasted apart. So, they once again reformed into one body. It actually destroyed 3% of my undying body. The black-armored youth couldn't help but be shocked and raged. If not for the G-grade cabin, he would probably have died earlier. After which, he spread out his law domain. At this time he was already within the space debris. Silver Wing Emperor. Through his law domain, he could clearly see that in the chaotic flow of spatial fragments outside, there was an enormous silver monster charging about, flying directly towards the cabin. Cabin door open. The black-armored youth immediately opened the cabin door and flew out. Because he was clear. If he hid in the cabin, then he would be like a turtle in a jar. The opponent could use all sorts of methods to trap him in the cabin and he wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time. Silver Wing King failed last time, yet he still chased after me this time. Against such a peak Emperor warrior, if he didn't have any confidence, he wouldn't waste time. This means, he should have confidence in dealing with me. The black-armored youth flew out of the cabin, keeping the cabin and immediately fleeing. This was the space layer, the endless space shards were flying everywhere. This was like a large meteor crashing into each other. How strong would the resistance be? Maybe an undying could continuously accelerate, but the time it took to do so was obviously much longer. Hua. Hua. Silver Wing King was like a fish in water. The murdering Wu wings were a treasure that could control space. It wasn't affected at all by the space shards. Leaving behind a few traces, he swiftly caught up to the black-armored youth who was barely accelerating. Stop. The black-armored youth was about to use it, but Silver Wing King had already dodged. Not good. The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. Humph, I knew you could use time stop. Why would I stop and give you a chance? The golden horned beast was like a ghost, constantly changing its position, surrounding and attacking the black-armored youth. Time stop. This technique was used on a specific region of space. It was like shooting a rifle on Earth. Shooting a stationary target was easy, but the moment the target started moving, especially when it was moving very quickly and constantly changing direction, it was extremely hard to hit. One theory, the golden horned beast's body was too huge to use it once, the area it had to control was huge, and the golden horned beast's speed and direction changes gave the black-armored youth a headache. Trap. The black-armored youth pointed at the golden horned beast. Shio. A 10 kilometers long black whip danced in the space vortex, directly wrapping around the attacking golden horned beast. One of the wings of the golden horned beast was wrapped around by the black whip. Immediately its speed and agility were affected. This caused the black armored youth to be overjoyed. Success. Rumble. Even though the golden horned beast's left wing was wrapped by the black whip, it still charged towards the black armored youth. Bind him. The black armored youth gritted his teeth. That slender black whip glowed with a dark glow as it tightened. However, even though the golden horned beast's left wing was bound, it wasn't injured at all. This was the Wu slaying wings, a true treasure. Even a powerful pinnacle existence like the Universe Lord would find it hard to injure such a treasure. The black whip could at most slightly affect it. To completely bind it and cause it to lose its ability to resist, how was that possible? Boom. The golden horned beast was already closing in on the black armored youth. Freeze. The black armored youth once again used this technique. Stop my ass, explode. The golden horned beast rushed over. Luo Feng's consciousness was howling. In an instant, a fiery red, heart-palpitating pyramid-shaped crystal floated between the golden horned beast and the black armored youth, very close to each other. Fire God Source Crystal. The black-armored young man revealed a shocked and angry expression. Especially when he sensed the energy ripples of the Fire God Origin Crystal, he was even more frightened. It's over. I'm dead. A Fire God Origin Crystal comparable to a high-level Emperor-level explosion? Has this Silver Wing Emperor gone mad? This was a high-level Emperor-level explosion. Even if he was an Emperor Pinnacle Warrior, against a Fire God Origin Crystal comparable to a high-level Emperor-level explosion, he would probably lose a portion of his undying body. If that's the case, he might as well burn a part of his immortal body to kill me. Why waste an expensive Regis rank high-grade Fire God Origin Crystal? Thoughts flashed through the black-armored young man's mind as he faced death. Teacher, save me. The black-armored youth immediately shattered the token within his world ring. Even if you want me to die, I'll drag you down with me. The black-armored youth at that moment. Through the communication device, countless experts in the demon race's camp, who were on the same side as him on the blazing right continent, began to send messages. I'm about to die. The murderer is the Silver Wing King. The coordinates are. This message was instantly sent to countless experts in the demon race's camp. If the black-armored youth had said he was going to give a reward and let others inform the automaton warriors, then this message would have been intercepted by the AI system. Because contacting other camps, this was a huge crime of betrayal. 4 big camps, betrayal camps, were like traitors to a race. It was an absolute crime of death. Even with a Universe Lord as a teacher, he couldn't be saved. Of course, if it was a peak existence like the Universe Lord, he could still be saved. But one had to know. Many of the vassal races like the Golden Horn race didn't even have an unimaginable overlord like the Universe Lord. Disciple. In an extremely remote area of the universe territories, the territory where the vassal races lived. It's in the alien battleground. No. Similarly dressed in black armor, a rough-looking man couldn't help but shout, Disciple, you have to live. Although he had given his disciple an item, and he could teleport there through the God Nation, that was the alien battleground of the 4 big camps. Universe Lords were forbidden from entering, unless it was a huge battle. Otherwise, those that appeared in the alien battleground were all existences below the Universe Lord level. Of course, some super existences like the Primal Chaos City Lord could occasionally break the rules. Because of their high status, the vassal races didn't dare to say anything. But the human Universe Lords and foreign race lords also didn't have the right to enter the alien battleground. Rumble. Although it seemed like it took a long time, the explosion of the Fire God Origin Crystal actually happened in an instant. The black-armored youth's speed hadn't even reached 1,000 km. In front of the Emperor-level explosion within a 10,000 km radius, that was the strongest explosion. Rumble. The spatial shrapnel was instantly shattered into particles by the powerful energy explosion. The black-armored youth and the golden horned beast were both doing the same thing at this moment, to defend against the explosion. Who? The golden horned beast closed its wings, wrapping itself up. No. The black-armored youth immediately took out the G-grade metal cabin and placed it in front of him. At the same time he controlled Yanhua. The support plant life Yanhua knew that if its master died, it would die too. Hence, it tried its best to let out its last light. Explode. The surrounding 10,000 km radius was instantly turned into a particle flow. Even though there was the G-grade metal cabin blocking in front of them, the explosion was completely dispersed. At most, the power was reduced by half. Almost instantly, the black-armored youth and the Yanhua protecting him were blasted into nothingness. They were completely annihilated. Only the G-grade metal cabin, weapons, and the G-grade metal world ring were left floating in the endless particle flow. The golden horned beast too closed its wings to protect itself. Against the terrifying impact, after going through the Wu Slayer wings and armor, it was reduced to 1,000th of its original power. Even this 1,000th was comparable to a normal Emperor-level warrior's attack. It also shattered the Cloud Contact armor on the golden horned beast's scales. Luckily the Cloud Contact Vine was an official level warrior, and its body was comparable to a low-level Emperor-level human's undying body. Even though it was shattered because of its undying body, it didn't lose much. The golden horned beast felt its body tremble. It felt stuffy. Of course, it only felt stuffy, that was all. Haha, an Emperor-level explosion, it can even harm an Emperor-level pinnacle warrior. I have the Wu Slayer wings and armor, these two treasures protecting me. Along with the Cloud Contact Vine's undying body, even against an Emperor-level Pinnacle Warrior's explosion, I should be able to survive. Luo Feng was in an extremely good mood amidst the explosion. The aftershocks of the explosion were swiftly weakening. The golden-horned beast's dark golden eyes gazed into the distance. In the distance, the G-grade cabin, black whip, world rings and other items were all floating. Actually, the world rings Luo Feng and the other warriors had were all made from G-grade metals. Luckily it was just a ring, it used very little metal, hence it was very cheap. Even the powerful Undyings could afford it. When the powerful Undyings fought, how huge would the shockwaves be? If they used normal F9 grade metals to create the world rings, it would be easily damaged during the battle. Within one of the world rings, the official and normal Undyings who were originally filled with nervousness, the black armored youth's undying servants, the moment their master fell, they all revealed looks of fear and unwillingness. These undying servants only had time to cry out in anger. Plop. One by one they fell, no longer breathing. Even though their bodies were still there, their souls had completely dissipated. Just like back then when Hu Yenbo died, his servants too died. The master died. The servants died. No matter how powerful the servants were, they couldn't change this fact. Amidst the space debris flow, the explosion only had some lingering sounds left. The golden-horned beast relied on the Wu killer wings, the general armor and the cloud contact armor to protect itself. It was unharmed. Of which the Wu killer wings and the general armor were incomparably sturdy, and could weaken over 90% of the attack power. And the cloud contact armor of course couldn't weaken over 90% of the attack power, but it could try its best to block. Until it collapsed. After the Wu killer wings and the general armor, the remaining attack power, when it destroyed an Emperor-level early-level undying body like the cloud contact armor, was used up. The most valuable part was the Wu killer wings and the general armor. However, these were both extremely valuable items. The Wu killer wings, its value didn't need much to be said, that was a treasure even the Universe Knights would go crazy for. The general armor, it blocked attacks, it was even better at blocking soul attacks. The human race didn't have such a treasure, they didn't even know of its existence, they wouldn't even use it. Luo Feng also trained in the Nameless Manual, hence he was lucky enough to use such a treasure. Haha. Losing an 800 million points Fire God Origin Crystal, to be able to kill you and get the treasure that made my body go crazy, it's too worth it. The golden-horned beast too howled as it flew over, its dark golden eyes looking at the G-grade cabin, the black whip, the two world rings, the remains of the armor etc., especially feeling the intense calling from one of the world rings to every cell in its body. It was thousands of times stronger than the general armor, its cold eyes too revealed excitement. Paid so much. Was worth it. On the edge of the Yenji continent, there was a towering golden palace in a desolate desert. It stood conspicuously in the middle of the desert. The strong of the foreign races usually hid in mountain caves, underground caves, underwater caves and other secret places. The ones who dared to live in such an eye-catching palace were definitely the top cultivators on the Yenji continent. And the current owner of this palace was King Jiujian. He was a peak-titled king-level fighter with the ability to teleport. On the Yenji continent he feared no one. Whoosh. In the sky above the golden palace, a humanoid black flame that was about 3 meters tall appeared out of nowhere. This black flame solidified into a black-robed fighter. His entire body was shrouded in a black robe. King Jiujian. The powerful fighter in the palace, King Jiujian, immediately noticed the arrival of the enemy. He immediately sent a voice transmission. "You're from the demon camp. What are you doing here? Do you want to fight?" Both of them were among the strongest fighters on the Yenji continent. They both had the ability to teleport. Even if they fought, it would be a waste of time. King Jiujian. Zvika. The black-robed fighter sent a voice transmission. "I know Silver Wing King's current coordinates. If you want them, exchange them for treasures worth 200 million units of yuan. Remember, these coordinates are his current coordinates. You have to hurry. If you're too slow, Silver Wing King will escape." Two figures appeared outside the palace. It was King Jiujian, who was short and skinny. He had a pair of beast claws and wore a silver mask. The other was the machine fighter, Zvika. Zvika had been staying with King Jiujian ever since he put up the bounty. Because, once he got the exact coordinates, he could quickly reach any place on the Yenji continent with King Jiujian. "You say you know where Silver Wing King is? It's just a coordinate and you want 200 million units of yuan?" Zvika sent a voice transmission. "It's a treasure worth 200 million units of yuan. I can't use your machine currency," King Jiujian said. The Black Wisp King sent a voice transmission. "You can continue wasting time. The more time you waste, the further that Silver Wing King will run. It will be difficult for you to find him again. 12 seconds have passed." "Bastard." Zvika gritted his teeth. Even a peak-stage king-conferred martial artist would not earn so much money at such a ridiculous rate. Typically, if one did not work hard for more than 10,000 years, they might not even be able to earn so much money. Yet, a piece of information was being sold at such a high price. "I'll buy it." Zvika turned his hand and a space ring appeared in his palm. He immediately threw the space ring in his hand. The Black Curly King took the interspatial ring and quickly checked it. "That's enough. These are the coordinates." Black Curly King immediately gave the coordinates to Zvika and King Jiujian. "You're coming with us," said Zvika. "Don't worry." This news was sent by another early-stage king-ranked expert. Furthermore, it should have been sent before he died. There is no mistake. Since I've received a treasure worth 200 million yuan units, of course I'll go with you. Let's go. The Black Wisp King was calm and confident. He was not afraid of anyone on the Yenji continent. Suika, 9 Sturdy Emperor and Black Mist Emperor. Immediately 9 Sturdy Emperor used teleportation and teleported to the bottom of the lake where Luo Feng and the Black Armored Youth were battling. Within the space layer. After the Golden Horned Beast used a Fire God Crystal worth 800 million points to kill the Black Armored Youth, it didn't bother to carefully study the treasures. It immediately grabbed the G-grade cabin, the 2 world rings, the Black Whip and the other spoils of war and swiftly stored them into its own world ring. Things might change if I delay. Before this Black Armored Youth died, he might have invited someone to deal with me. I'd better hurry and leave. After I leave this place, I'll slowly study the treasures. The Golden Horned Beast swiftly broke through the space barrier and returned to the original universe space. It appeared at the bottom of the lake and immediately switched back to its human body. The Wu Killer wings also merged with the human body. The reason for this was because the Golden Horned Beast was simply too huge. Its body was over 100 kilometers long, plus its tail and even larger wings. The micro-detector only had a 20 kilometers radius. It couldn't completely hide the Golden Horned Beast. Rumble. The Earthling spread his wings and flew up in an instant. He broke through the rock layer and rushed out of the cold and deep lake. In just a few seconds he had rushed out of the lake. It swiftly fled into the distance. The commotion from the battle before was too huge. The bug army's combined attack would probably attract the warriors over. I have to hurry and leave this place. LuoFeng's wings flapped and he unleashed 3 universe vibrations. His speed rose rapidly. Even though it was rushed, however LuoFeng was filled with joy within. To get the treasures from this foreign warrior he had planned for a long time. The first time he noticed the treasures he wanted to fight. However, he suppressed it and forced his way back to the base to raise his strength before returning. After much hard work, he finally succeeded in killing this opponent and getting the treasures he wanted. Within the cave at the bottom of the lake. Suika, 9 Tough Emperor and Black Wisp Emperor, these 3 warriors from different races appeared at the same time. What a strong energy reaction. 9 Tough Emperor communicated. Very strong. Black Wisp Emperor's expression changed too. Silver Wing Emperor could very well be here conducting a scan. Suika didn't care much. He immediately released the large and micro detectors and immediately spread them out in all directions. Not good. Luo Feng, who was flying swiftly, activated both the large and micro detectors at the same time. The large detectors were used to detect the enemy. The micro detectors were used to protect himself and alert against stronger enemies. The moment Black Wisp Emperor, 9 Tough Emperor and Suika appeared in the cave, Luo Feng's large detectors immediately detected the enemy. It's them? Luo Feng was shocked. Suika Luo Feng didn't recognize him. Even though they fought before, he had never seen his real body. But Black Wisp Emperor and 9 Tough Emperor, Luo Feng was able to recognize them immediately. Because back in the base, Luo Feng had communicated with a few Emperor-level Undyings. At the same time, he had specially investigated some of the foreign races on Yenji continent that shouldn't be messed with. He already had a list of them. Black Wisp Emperor and 9 Tough Emperor were on the list, hence Luo Feng immediately recognized them. He actually teleported here immediately. That automaton race. Looks like it's very likely the one who placed a bounty on me. He's also the extremely rich one. Luo Feng recognized Suika and laughed within. I still have to thank you. If it wasn't for you providing me with so many resources, Mo Yun probably wouldn't have been able to become an Undying in such a short period of time. I wouldn't have been able to kill that Na Shi race warrior in such a short period of time either. Stop. Luo Feng, who was originally flying at high speed, suddenly slowed down. He then flew at a very slow speed, relying on the miniature detector to protect himself. Furthermore, the moment the detector detected the enemy, it immediately shut down the large detector. He didn't dare to fly too fast because flying too fast would create space ripples and air waves, which would make it very easy for the enemy to detect him. Suika, 9 Tough Emperor and Black Wisp Emperor all activated their detectors. Nothing? The 3 powerful warriors were a bit shocked. Black Wisp Emperor. Suika looked at him. I trusted you and gave you the treasure a long time ago. However, I haven't found that Silver Wing Emperor at all. Did you give me the coordinates too late? Or did you lie to me on purpose? From the time I got the coordinates until now, it hasn't even been 30 seconds. Black Wisp Emperor communicated, 30 seconds he definitely can't have escaped more than 9 million kilometers. And our large detectors have a minimum range of 300 million kilometers. No matter what, he can't escape our detection range. Now that we can't find him, it means that his miniature detector is very high-end. High-end? Suika said unhappily, I fought him before. His detector is very average. Your battle with him was a long time ago. Wouldn't he have bought a better detector? The Black Curly King said unhappily. Everyone stop arguing. 9 Tough Emperor communicated, I'll go to the space layer to see if he's hiding there. Also, Black Wisp Emperor, help me sense the space. Make sure there aren't any special changes in the space ripples. If there are, it could very well be that Silver Wing Emperor. Okay. Black Wisp Emperor nodded, I've accepted the treasure. I'm willing to help out a little. Sila. 9 Tough Emperor immediately used his claw to cut open the space crack and entered the space layer to investigate. After a few seconds he came out. How was it? Suika looked at him. The countless space fragments in the space layer didn't have any special movements. 9 Tough Emperor said, I think that Silver Wing Emperor will return to the original universe space after the battle. The chances of him staying in the space layer aren't high. Let's first check the surrounding space. Okay. Swaika nodded. There were many ways to check the space. Simple like using Undying God power to check. This type of checking was very crude. The better ones were like detectors, but it depended on how advanced the detectors were. The weaker ones were about the same as normal Undying's Undying power detection. The better ones could even surpass the God power detection of Emperor-level experts. Higher level would be law domains and world projection. Law domains and world projection were methods that belonged to the laws of the universe. This wasn't something that could be created just by studying the laws. Within the law domain, the god spirits were the masters. Within the world projection, the sector lords were the masters. They could clearly control their own area. Of course, spatial techniques like the Thunder Hell and the 9 Ultimate Divine Kingdom could also be used to filter the space around them. I'll set up 6 hell worlds within a 100 million kilometers radius. Swaika said solemnly, as long as he's within 100 million kilometers, I'll be able to find him. Shwa. The 3 warriors simultaneously appeared in the air above the lake. 9 Tough Emperor then led Swaika and swiftly teleported to 6 different locations, leaving behind a base ship in each of the 6 locations. One had to know that the 9 Extreme God Kingdom was very mysterious. It was created by the Universe Knight Automaton Grandmasters with great effort. There were many ways to use it. Even though one was lost and the strongest 9 Extreme God Kingdom couldn't be set up, the other 8 ships still had many ways to use them. Even a single pedestal spaceship could set up a control area of a higher level than the Thunder Hell. With 6 ships, one could set up 6 hell worlds. 1. Countless blurry lights enveloped over a 100 million kilometers area. It spread through the surrounding mountain ranges and permeated tens of millions of km into the endless land, enveloping the vast lake. Everything was under control. And Luo Feng, who flew slowly and didn't dare cause any ripples in space, was naturally enveloped within the 6 hell worlds.